Hello everyone, this is Victoria Guo Yan. China is getting ready to send 3 astronauts to its new space station. The highly anticipated crewed mission, along with a host of other space programs, has captured the imagination of the public. We're now at the Beijing Planetarium to take a walk to the moon and a tour to the universe. I'm very happy to let you know that today we're joined by Zhang Fan, Professor of Astronomy at Beijing Normal University. Professor Zhang is a physicist and astronomer. Thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
It's really great to meet you in person.
Really?
Really, we have a lot of phone calls before for our morning show on the radio, and it's really great to meet you in person. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's take a walk to the moon. Hello everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions or something you want to know about China's space missions, please leave your comments on our Facebook page. I'm going to read that and let Professor Zhang Fan to answer your questions. As you can see now, we are walking at an exhibition hall of the moon mission. As you can see, this is the moon vehicle, which was launched by China's space station. Professor Zhang, can you tell us what is this?
Right, it's a lot bigger than you think, right? It's really a lot bigger than I expected. So this thing was sent to the moon and collected some samples over there. What it does, so this one collects solar energy through its panels. So the first mission, the first vehicle actually sort of died on the moon, unfortunately, during the lunar night. The moon is actually in a synchronized rotation with Earth. So one side of the moon is always facing Earth. So that's called tidal locking, which also means each moon night lasts 15 days or thereabouts. So that's a really long, cold night where the vehicle doesn't actually have any energy. So the first one actually died during that time, sort of died. And the second one, they put in, I think, a nuclear battery, which isn't a nuclear reactor. It is just a radioactive element generating heat. So that one worked really well. I don't know whether it's still working, but it's certainly way beyond its design lifetime.
Actually, I think it is a prototype of the real moon vehicle, but it's really larger. It is larger than I thought it to be. So let's. We already have some comments.
That thing into space, right?
Professor, we already have some comments from our fans from all around. Hi, Scat. Hello, how are you? Good morning. Liaoman Lambu. Thanks for watching our video. Oh, some of our fans said they hope they can get the chance to visit China. Well, hopefully you can visit here again.
Hopefully soon. That's the COVID thing finished.
Now we're arrived at kind of scenario in which visitors are allowed for a moonwalk. Let's take a closer look at it. I'm going to try how to play this for you.
Right.
Okay. So we can see on that screen there is an astronaut. If I walk, I think he will walk. 所以这个是这样吗？这个是这样吗？就是这样子。
You're supposed to.
I'm gonna ask the staff members here to instruct me how to play the game. 这个是怎么玩？ It doesn't move. Oh, so the point is I jump, he jumps. Let's try it. Is that better? Oh, he says hello to me. 哦，这样可以吗？啊。
That's a bit sick.
Wow, so it's like
so for those
it's a nice walk.
who can't see it, there's a motion capture camera and trying to mimic your motion, but to pretend you're on the moon.
So it's a pretend walk. I don't have that much money for a real Moonwalk.
That's what it's for. But I thought you'd be able to meet that.
Our fans on our Facebook page, if you would like to take a walk to the moon, and we ordinary people don't have as much, deep pockets as Jeff Bezos, we can just try to experience the moonwalk at the Beijing Planetarium. If you have the chance to come to visit China, this is a must-visit resort for you. Is this the costume of the astronaut? Now we look. Now this is the costume of astronaut, but this is not the real one.
It's not. It's nothing. It looks nothing like it.
Speaking of the astronauts, China is gonna send 3 astronauts to our new space station. Do you know about them?
I don't know them personally. I know there are roughly 16 people certified to go up currently in China, and they're all supposed to be going up in this and the following 3 missions. So everybody gets a chance. That's important because there's the first generation of Chinese astronauts. They're pushing their 60s now. They're 50-something.
Nie Haisheng, I remember. He's 57 years old. We have an astronaut who is in his almost 60s to accomplish a space mission. That is inspiring.
And more inspiring is some of them has been on standby for all this time and never actually had a chance to go up. So this will be their last chance, and I'm really glad they're.
It is a tough challenge, and they must go through a lot, to go through the rigorous training to be an astronaut. That must
physical training must be
that is challenging, quite inspiring. It proves that sky's the limit. Even a guy in his 60s can still achieve a lot in space exploration. Don't set your limit to your career.
Yeah, literally.
Now we can see this is it? What is it? Are they stones?
They
look like stones. They are how to identify meteorites. So there are 3 meteorites for us. So it's a guessing game. This is a guessing game. It lets the visitors to guess which one is real, which one is real meteorite. One of them is, 2 of them are fake. One of them is real. Let's have a guess.
You have a guess first.
Which one is the real?
I don't actually know. That one looks out of this world, so I'll pick that one. But any one of them, I'm not an expert on this really. What's your pick?
Okay, our followers on our Facebook page have a guess. Which one is real meteorite? I guess. Which one do you choose?
I chose the middle one.
This one?
Yeah.
I think it's this one.
This
one is real.
So which one is it?
What's your answers, our followers? If you have, please post your answer on our Facebook page. Just this one. 最美哪一个是真的? Here we have the answer. It says which one? Which one is real?
So my pick was correct. Yeah.
So the B is right. This one is the real. This is the real one, and it's the fake.
That thing is massive. Just imagine, because this thing has to go through Earth's atmosphere and it burns up. Most of it burns up. And if something this big got left over, just imagine what the original thing was when it goes through the atmosphere. It must be a quite pretty firework.
Okay, our fans. 你好, Jesse Horn. Our fans are saying hello to us.
Hi.
Hello, Chile. You're from Chile, John Sebastian. Hello, how are you? Thanks for watching our video. And do you know what is this?
That's the sample that the U.S. shared with China. It's from the Apollo mission, and as a goodwill gesture, when China and the U.S. established first diplomatic relationships in 1979, I believe, 78.
It looks so tiny.
Yeah, it's 1 gram.
It looks like a soybean size, small stuff. It's just 1 gram. Oh no, it's 0.5 grams.
0.5. Yeah, because somebody used half of it for scientific research. So there's only half left. And they were very smart when they presented this thing. They enclosed it in a kind of a lens shape enclosing, so it looks bigger than it actually looks, as it actually is. But then you can't complain. Back then it's pretty difficult to take stuff back. But China recently.
It says it sent to China in 1978. That was roughly about the time when China and United States officially establish diplomatic ties. I remember the president was Jimmy Carter.
Oh, it was Jimmy Carter?
Yeah, it was Jimmy Carter. And the other, they only have half of the stone is left at this museum, and the other half was sent to some scientific institutions for researchers to do some research to analyze the composition of the moon rock.
Right.
What is this?
The National Astronomy of China. That's where it was. Yeah.
This is the ball. What does it work? How does it work? Let's see. Wow, it's rotating on its axis. I think we could see some Chinese name on that, like the great mathematician Zhu Chongzhi. There are a lot of craters. Right?
Yeah. So the
hit by
craters.
meteorites.
Yeah. Right. So the crater is actually quite important because this is how you tell how old a thing is. So if you look at other planets in the solar system, by counting how many of these craters there are, you can tell how many asteroids has hit those planets, and you can calibrate the age, like the rate at which this asteroid hits something using the moon, because we know how old the moon are because we can go there and collect samples and see how old the rocks are. So this is actually more important than just having names attached.
We have several Chinese names. There's Zhang Fan, and great person in Chinese history, and also I remember Wan Hu has his name.
Yeah.
One of the craters is named after Chinese astronomer Wan Hu, who was living 1,600 years ago, and Wan Hu, you know Wan Hu. Who is Wan Hu? Wan Hu is he is deemed as the first astronomer in human history because he is the lifted off into outer space by sitting in a chair powered by rockets.
I don't think he reached orbit.
You know, it's very interesting. The guy just disappeared in a puff of smoke with a big bang.
Yeah, pretty sure he didn't make it. Wow, who knows?
Yeah, I think his boldness, his courageous mind is very inspiring.
Yeah.
And now we're walking. Is this a screen?
Yeah, I think
there are a lot of
constellations.
The wall, we can see the paintings on the wall. It's not paintings, it's kind of like a screen. Yeah, projected by some sensors. As it's Leo. It's my constellation.
Mine isn't even up there.
Which is your constellation of followers?
Sagittarius. I don't see it. So this is actually quite interesting. So a lot of astronomers take offense when people ask them astrology, but actually astrology came from a very famous astronomer called Ptolemy, the guy who really perfected the Earth-centered worldview. Obviously, it's wrong, so astrology probably isn't that correct either, and also the Earth is actually perception.
I like lions.
You like lions? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
which is your constellation?
Yeah,
which constellation do you belong to?
I'm officially Sagittarius, but should be one next to it. I have no idea what that is, but that's the point. If you think astrology really works, no, it doesn't. Unfortunately.
我们的粉丝王丽一虫说感谢，谢谢你，玉丽一虫，谢谢你观看我们的视频。And now we're gonna walk to we're gonna go underground to another exhibition. 怎么走呢？从这边。
I think the escalator is over there. Yeah.
That was over there. We're gonna find the escalator to go to the underground to watch an exhibition of deep space.
Right. So while we were walking, I can perhaps tell you a little bit more about Ptolemy and everybody else in ancient Greece.
Actually, we Chinese are so, fascinated. I think Chinese are especially enamored by the moon.
Right.
Not just because not just for the resources on the moon or for some scientific experiment. I think there's a culture thing in this, that it has special meaning for us Chinese people, because the moon represents the image and the symbol of family, friends, and a lot of other auspicious connotations for us.
Right. Certainly a love story affair.
We even have a lot of poems and great classics in history that depict our love, our family, our love for our family and friends. Like one of my favorite poets, Su Dongguo, also known as Su Shi, in his poem, or to be exact, his lyrics, 水调歌头. Have you ever heard that?
I know it. I can't recite it though.
Which is prelude to water melody. He says, 但愿人长久，千里共婵娟, which means being thousands of miles apart, we still can observe the moon. We still can share the beauty and charm of the moon, exuded by the moon.
Right.
Okay. Oh, let's go downstairs.
I think we should go first. Yeah. Or
Thank you.
watch your steps.
Watch your steps. Ooh. Hello, our fans. Do you have any? If you have any questions or you want to know about China's manned space mission, please leave your comments below on our Facebook page.
Right. And also like the Chinese depiction of the figure on the moon. You know, this is a dark region on the moon, and Chinese recognize that as a rabbit. I like that. I think in the West they call it the old man in the moon.
Now here we are, the Cosmic Shuttle exhibition.
All right.
Let's take a tour to the universe.
All right.
Let's take a tour to the universe. When I was very little, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I used to dream of being an astronaut and travel into space.
Right.
Have you ever had that kind of dream?
No, I can't say I have. Sometimes I'm not familiar with it, but ignorance is bliss. If you know what's up there already, it's kind of it takes the magic away a little bit. So I've always been interested in astronomy, so I sort of,
we're not rich as Jeff Bezos. He can afford a space travel next month offered by his own space company.
Well, if you have a few million to throw around, then maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we have seen that this is the board exhibits the Cosmic Shuttle. It says, oh, the universe is vast and mysterious. It has, I see the poem of Taeyeon. I love Taeyeon. Taeyeon is one of the greatest and legendary official living 2,000 years ago.
The last festival we just had was in
in observation of Taeyeon. Actually, Taeyeon is one of China's most great personalities in the history, and our spacecraft Tianwen-1, which is the name of our Mars mission, is named after one of his greatest. It says, I remember the opening line is 岁古之初，谁传道之？上下未形，何有考之？明朝蒙暗，谁能及之？平易为象，何以识之？ Which depicts the moment or the situation when before the heaven and the earth separated from each other, and the chaotic, the chaotic theory. Yeah, the chaotic situation before the earth and the heaven separated from each other.
The Chinese mythology, yeah. There was chaos, a mixture of everything, which is kind of actually quite similar to what we have in current cosmology. Before the cosmic microwave background come to be, there's a plasma of positive and negatively charged particles, all just floating around the universe, which is very small at the time. But small in the sense that if you take this volume now and you trace it backwards, it becomes really small. It doesn't mean the universe is actually, the universe is always infinite, constantly infinite in space, but it's smaller compared to now if it trace a particular, if it
still keep expanding. Is that, am I
that's
right?
the point. That's
okay,
the point, yeah.
let's see, behind us is the exhibition of black hole and the ripples of the time-space. Is it a black hole or?
Yeah, it's a black hole. It's, I think it's the original modeling was, I think it's from Interstellar, and they actually did some numerical simulations to make sure they got the right picture, which is real dedication in the film industry, which I really like. So what you're seeing here is material circulating around the ring. It's length because the black hole would curve the space-time around it.
So I heard that nobody could get away from black hole.
Right.
Why is that?
Because the fastest speed in the universe is the speed of light, which is infinitely extremely slow. You know, Earth and Mars, we are two of the closest planets in the solar system, closer to each other, and it takes something like 13, 14 minutes for light signal to reach Earth. That's why the landing earlier, both by NASA and China, that had to be so difficult. Everything had to be autonomous. So if light, the fastest thing, cannot escape the black hole, then nothing else will be able to. Yeah.
There's one man that has made it. It's Matthew McConaughey, Interstellar,
yeah, wow.
Christopher Nolan's movie, one of my favorite sci-fi and blockbusters.
Right. So I think according to Kip Thorne, the point about the science in Interstellar is it doesn't conflict with any of the existing series. So it does allow some more speculative aspects, including higher dimensional space, which I guess Cooper was his name. Cooper used to escape the interior of the black hole. Yeah. So essentially, the black hole curves our space-time. That's four-dimensional. But if you lift up into the fifth dimension, obviously you move around in the actual dimension allowed.
Oh, thank our fans. We have so much answers. You asked where we are. We are at the Beijing Planetarium, and it's a very amazing museum. If you have ever, or if you want have a plan to take a trip to China, I think this is a must-visit place.
Right, certainly pretty cool.
And this follower says, I'm very surprised that China has achieved some great achievements this year. Yes, the country has achieved a lot.
What do you mean you're surprised?
Huh?
What do you mean you're surprised? Kidding. Yeah, so China is putting in a lot of resources into space exploration. So in addition to the Mars mission, there's an active Moon mission to build a Moon base. First robotic, and then humans will be there. I think two Chinese missions has already been planned for the Moon, and then the Russians will also contribute another one. So it's a joint venture between China and Russia, the Moon base.
So there could be
the partners did contribute a lot, which is incredibly. I think China is incredibly thankful for that. For example, you know, China is on one side of the Earth. If a space vehicle goes around the other side, China can't actually monitor it that well. China has ships, but it's not the same as a land-based large facility. So Argentina, for example, exactly on the opposite side of Earth. Actually, America is not on it. When you say digging through Earth to China in America, that's not actually true. We're both on the northern hemisphere. The actual antipodal point of China is in Argentina. So the Argentinian Space Agency offering help is really, really helpful.
Now we should walk upstairs. That's all we have for the tour to the universe. This follower says, David Blue. Hi, David. How are you? He said this. David Blue says, building strong minds and dream for the young. Yes, we do need some young talents that have strong minds.
Yeah, you probably hear all the kids screaming, which is a good sign.
Well, as this country is undergoing a tremendous transformation and strives to build its own technological powerhouses, we do need some young talents who can really push the envelope, right?
Yeah. Well, we also have some international visitors. Look around.
Okay. Now we're walking to our next stop.
Yeah.
We're heading to an older building which was to watch an exhibition about Earth and creatures might living in outer space.
Might be, yeah.
Do you like sci-fi movies?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. Are we allowed to recommend stuff on this show?
Actually, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when I watched the movie, the Martian.
Yeah.
Starred by Matt Damon. One of my favorite actors.
Is that the reason?
You know, there is a scenario. When I watched the Chinese National Space Administration teamed up with NASA to rescue Matt Damon, who was stranded on Mars. That vehicle, rocket, was named by the blockbuster's producer as 太阳神号.
Right.
You know 太阳神号? Really? Seriously? The Chinese space administration named a Chinese spacecraft as 太阳神 in pinyin. Yes.
太阳神.
太阳神, not Apollo. It's 太阳 in pinyin.
Yeah.
I was like,
there's no such deity in China.
No, yes, we do have some kind of.
We have a deity that shot down a lot of them. It was nice. It was
actually, we do have in Chinese mythology.
Yeah.
We do have a kind of counterpart of the god of sun, which is more of a goddess of the sun, which is Xi He. You know Xi He, a beautiful goddess. She is a beautiful goddess. She is in charge of the sun affairs, and you know, I love her.
I should look her
love
up.
her.
Yeah.
But the point I want to make is that the producers and some movie makers, the directors, script writers, they know so little about Chinese culture. Think about that. Mark my words. If I know the possibility would be quite slim, but if there's any chance that producers from Hollywood or some blockbusters, if you want to, you know, grab the market of the world. I know China is the world's second largest movie market. If you want to tap into the market, please do some homework, do some background check, and learn something about China, about its religion, its mythology, about its psychological, the sociology of Chinese people, because. Mark my words, the Chinese Space Administration has never and will never name a Chinese-made spacecraft as 太阳神 in pinyin. That sounds so weird.
Yeah,
it's so weird. We have a lot of beautiful names like 天宫, 玉兔, 天问. We have so many. It carries a lot of culture. Why do you call it 太阳神? That is the weirdest name I've ever heard in my life for a Chinese-made spacecraft.
Now you mentioned that, actually Chang'e, so the Chinese Space Administration is pretty good at naming things. So Chang'e is the Chinese moon goddess. So the Chinese moon mission had always been the moon goddess going. In contrast to certain countries' Apollo missions, I don't know why they send the sun god to the moon. So the Artemis would be a much better choice, which they're adopting now. Glad to see.
Oh, this follower says everyone should go to China to see how China is growing and experience the food and culture. Thank you, Zhang Mr. Man. Thank you very much. Let's visit our next stop. You know, there is kind of, speaking of the movies, there's kind of golden rule for blockbuster producers is that if you incorporate a Chinese element in your film, it's gonna go a long way at the box office.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why they use Taeyeon Shenhao to appeal to the audience in China.
Right.
But we don't name. But please remember, we don't name our spacecraft like that.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's
其实，对，其实在中国的上古神话里面，我们有很多很美丽的名字。我们其实是有太阳神的，我们也有太阳女神，但是我们不会叫太阳神。That sounds too Greek. That is derives from Greek mythology. 在中国的上古神话里啊，我们有一位这样的太阳女神，她叫做羲和，非常美丽的名字，对不对？为什么不叫她羲和，要叫她太阳神呢？
Yes, yes. So the Chinese usually uses the name of the actual goddess or god, which is actually true in Greek mythology too. I think Greek mythology doesn't actually refer to the object. I think it refers to some personal traits that further get associated with the object. So I guess Apollo is not just the god of sun; it's also the god of some courage.
The god of light.
Yes, god of light. Right.
Yes, you don't call. We call the moon project of the United States as Apollo. We don't call it the god. Okay, the U.S. Moon project is the god of the light. That would be weird.
Right.
We need some names that carry special meaning. Okay, here we are. We're at this exhibition hall, which is older one than the one we have visited.
No, it's this one we're going in, I think. Yeah.
Here. Now here we are at this. What is this?
It's a focal. I don't speak French, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah. It's a pendulum. So the pendulum, if you're imagine if you're sitting on the north pole of the Earth, and then the pendulum will actually just swing in a plane, and the Earth rotating underneath it means the pendulum will be seen as you to be rotating. This plane of rotation will begin to rotate. In other places, the pendulum will sort of swing in a more processing fashion, so it's not exactly in the plane, but the point is to demonstrate that Earth is actually rotating. It's that simple. It's just a pendulum that can
the pendulum swings back and forth, which demonstrates that the Earth is spinning on its axis, right?
Yeah. So the ancient Greeks actually also, it's just the amazing thing is how simple this thing is. Like you can discover quite fundamental, counterintuitive things from them. For example, the Greeks know the Earth was round, and they know the radius because they put somebody in I guess in Greece, in Athens, and then somebody in Egypt, and they know the distance between these two locations, and they measure the difference in the angle of the shadows. So they know how much of the angle that particular arc on the Earth extends to the center of the Earth. So from that, they know the radius of the Earth. So sometimes it's just pure genius.
Wow, that's really wild imagination. Oh, if you look up the dome, wow, there's beautiful paintings here over there. They're the figures from Chinese mythology.
Yeah, that's the one that shot down the sun, right?
Hou Yi, the husband of our goddess of the moon, Chang'e's husband. There was the legend that China used to have 10 suns in the sky, which makes the earth scorching, and the farmers can't collect their harvest because it's so hot.
Yeah.
And then Hou Yi shoot down 9 of them. So there we can see there's only one sun in the sky.
Right. And actually, in astronomy, a lot of the systems, you have 2 suns. rotating against each other. But you rarely have three of them, because the three-body movement, there's actually a famous novel called Three Body. The three-body system is actually unstable. So one of the suns, the smallest one, will likely get ejected by this other two. That's why, so our solar system, we have the sun, and we have something called the Jupiter, which is a failed sun, you can say. It's a hydrogen gas formation. If it's any larger, it will heat up and become a dwarf.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here we are at this exploring another Earth. Is that real? Can we find another Earth? This is an exhibition that about deep space exploration, where scientists try to find living creatures beyond Earth, beyond the planet we're living. What is this? This Voyagers. They are the project.
It looks like the plate, the golden plate on the Voyager, which depicts a man and a woman, and also it essentially is a map telling all the whoever gets this where Earth is. So Earth is at the center of this diagram, and then these are pulsars in a Milky Way.
If I comprehend this in a simple way,
Right.
is that the scientists put information about, or biological information of human beings into a box and send it into universe to, maybe there might be some chance for creatures living in outer space to find us someday.
Yeah, and a lot of people,
right?
and a lot of people were a bit worried because this looks like a takeaway menu. Say this is food. This is where you find it. This is like where the restaurant is.
Isn't that put us in a dangerous situation? We put the information of human beings.
I don't think we're delicious
We're
enough for
exposed to
anyone
danger.
As we mentioned earlier, the speed of light is actually really, really slow, which means for anything from another system to visit Earth, even light, the nearest star for us, will be 1 year away. So that's light. We're infinitely slower than light. So for any alien civilization to actually visit Earth, it will take just an unimaginable amount of time, which is probably why they haven't visited. Well, maybe.
Oh, this one shows the FAST telescope. It's a giant telescope located in the Guizhou province of China. Can you introduce what it's used for? Why do we build such a giant telescope?
That's a radio telescope. It receives essentially radio signals from the universe, mostly from stars, like the pulsars appearing on those dense stars that serve as a lighthouse that radiates radio signals in particular directions, and that directions, once it sweeps through Earth, we get a signal. So this is mostly for that kind of things.
If I put it in a simple way, can we use the signals to detect the existence of some creatures in outer space, whether they are UFO or some foreign creatures, aliens?
Right. So if they are powerful enough and be able to direct the beam towards Earth's direction in a very concentrated manner. So laser is very concentrated light. It doesn't disperse. So that's why you get really strong one. There's something similar in radio called maser. If they can do that, but that thing is very difficult to control. Regardless, there is possibility, very extremely remote possibility, if they're sending signals, but they would already know. In the universe are alien technology, not signals sending to us, but they use those to propel their spacecraft, and somehow that incidentally hit us, and that becomes a signal. So it's possible, but that's not the aim. That's not the science goal for that thing. It's just something since you can do, why not? But it's not their mission. Yeah.
Actually, the FAST telescope has been open to global scientists, and I think there might be some cooperation with the China Space Agency for future deep space exploration.
Yeah. So there used to be another radio telescope called Arecibo. It's
is this one?
Yeah, it's in the Arecibo. It's in Puerto Rico. If you watch the 007 series, the Golden Eye, they were running around on that thing. Unfortunately, just this year or last year, a cable snapped. So that broke the entire thing. It smashed through the surface, and the whole thing is just.
Of the universe. Look at the stats. The a giant telescope located in China's Guizhou province.
Yeah, and I know.
What is this? It looks something I bought from IKEA.
I think that one is actually from IKEA. But whatever. but whatever. It's a live picture.
Wow, I think the budget of this museum must be really tight.
Oh yeah.
What is this? What is it? It looks like a.
I think they're trying to mimic the Dyson sphere. What that is Freeman Dyson, a physicist who thought an alien civilization would not waste the solar powers of their sun. So they would build solar. And reflects light. So if you can take apart Mercury, break up that planet, you can use the fragments to build something like that.
As you can see, we have been walking past this board, which exhibits the what is this? Some
bunch of
planets
telescopes for looking for
beyond solar. It's hard to observe some planets that is too far away.
It used to be really hard. The first one was discovered near a pulsar because it disturbs the radio signal from that pulsar. But obviously, life can't survive in that kind of extreme environment. So later on, people discovered planets near other sun-like stars, and we discovered thousands and thousands of them. And what we found is that our solar system is actually a little bit particular. Earth, actually, most of the Earth-like rock planets outside of the solar system, they exist in systems. They exist in masses that are far larger than Earth, which are missing in the solar system. So.
For ordinary people to find those planets deep in space.
Right. Scientists don't usually think that much. No, I'm just kidding. So you can learn planetary meteorology, weather systems, how that works. For example, if you look at Venus, it's extremely hot. It doesn't have any water, so that's something called runaway greenhouse effect. If we're not careful, something like that might actually happen. I think Venus is the reason why people start thinking whether that's possible on Earth. And the whole climate debate right now is to avoid becoming another Venus.
So trying to find some life that might be existing in outer space beyond now.
Right, so finding exoplanet is one thing. Finding life is quite another. It's actually a paradox. a question, mystery, that why there are so many, we found thousands of these exoplanets. None of them appear to have any humans, any aliens on them. Why is that? One of possible, yeah.
Speaking of alien,
Oh.
look at this.
Oh wow.
We have so many aliens.
Right. Yeah. I think the bumblebee is certainly my favorite. What's your favorite?
Oh, Professor Zhang asked me which is my favorite. Our followers on Facebook and Weibo, what's your favorite? I posed the question for you. Please post your answer on our Facebook page and Weibo.
I think they're actually to relative scale, right? I mean, this one is a lot taller than that one. Which is the biggest one? This one.
For me, I don't like that kind of look. They look so, I mean, to say them ugly might be impolite, but they look so bizarre.
Right. I guess if you don't see them, you can just let your imagination run wild. But actually, there are limitations, a lot of physical limitations.
It looks like a drop of water, this one.
Yeah. Then it's very difficult to hold it up. Our bones, calcium, the stuff you can form without having to like heat it up and do things like how you treat metal.
Okay, Professor, here's my question. Can't we have some guys in deep space that look like more incredibly good looking or gorgeous like Matt Damon and Matthew McConaughey?
I don't think they're going to look like humans. I mean, we're just a type of monkey. Monkeys, they might even look like other monkeys. I think the snub-nosed monkeys are cuter than humans, but whatever. So these kind of intelligent lives will actually be very difficult, but very primitive lives. They're looking for on Mars, and they will be looking for those Enceladus on the moon of the outer solar system. Those are actually quite important because life is very complex. Your DNA is just one molecule, but it contains God knows how many atoms. It's billions and billions of atoms. You can't make that stuff from scratch in the lab. That means if you want to do biotechnology to have some completely new capabilities, you have to discover it in nature, and extraterrestrial life would be a prime source of that. So.
Okay, thank you. Our fans have say hello to us. 你好，你好。啊，有一个粉丝说，他想学习中文。好的，继续关注我们的脸书啊，我们会有很多双语的节目给大家。Now let's walk here. These, what is this? Look at this.
That's Kepler. That's the satellite. I think it's from the European Space Agency.
Oh, this is the legend Kepler Space Telescope. I think it's not the real one. This is a prototype of Kepler's telescope. Yeah. What is it used for?
It's used for discovering those exoplanets. So see, it's 2750. So it can analyze the spectrum of the sunlight very carefully, and then if their planet goes in front of that star, you can see the differences and tell whether there's actually a planet over there. That's what it does.
What are they? They are planets. Wow, so cute. They are models of some planets and stars, right? All of them are planets because stars can shine, can give off light.
See, there is a hot Jupiter. That's what I mentioned earlier. So if our Jupiter is any larger, it will become like a star. We will be living in a binary system. I like how they do it.
Is it binary star?
There's the different things they just like stuck together. So I think the important thing to note here, I don't think they're actually to scale. There's no star here. Our atmosphere is a tiny thin blue ring around Earth, and we are crawling on the surface of that thing. So it's a little pathetic presently, but hopefully we'll be able to explore and move outwards.
Okay, Professor, if I ask you to give me one reason for why on Earth do we human beings try to explore deep space, what would that be?
The first one is imagination, right? Second one, so the universe evolves by increasing its entropy. I'll just go crazy here because it's an open question, right? The universe increases its entropy by forming more black holes, forming more sort of compact objects. That way, there's more degrees of freedom in the in gravitation, and humans and our follow-on, possibly AI civilizations, because humans really aren't built for space exploration, unfortunately. I know that breaks a lot of people's hearts, but and anything changes, we're all wiped out. But AI can. Goes out.
Finally, will be artificial intelligence help.
We can merge with it. I mean, we won't have to go away or anything. And that's a decrease of entropy, and that has to dump a lot of entropy into the into black holes and stuff like that. So we might actually end up, in the most extreme case, determining what the shape of the universe is, whether we call
well,
that.
Professor Zhang, you just explained it in a scientific way, but for me, I would say exploring deep space, exploring the unknown is part of human nature. It is our human nature that it's deeply rooted in our mind to find the truth and to seek the unknown in the universe.
Yeah, it's like why you eat that six ice cream, right?
Yeah, I mean even in some great classics in China. When I was in elementary school, we have some kind of mastery books like 三字经、千字文、百家姓. I remember in that 千字文, which is 1,000 character text, which was well composed and organized to help kids at elementary schools to learn Chinese. It says at the opening it says 岁古之初，谁传道之上。这个是屈原的，不好意思 ，excuse me.
So for most of you learning Chinese, you know each Chinese character will translate into a lot.
Separated from the heaven and wow. That's 刚才有我们的粉丝问说。他喜欢学习汉语，非常感谢这位喜欢学习汉语的粉丝。如果你想继续的学习的话，可以来关注我们的脸书和微博的页面。Just as we have been talking about the Chinese culture and Chinese classic books, if you want to keep learning Chinese, please follow us on the Facebook and read the classic books I have recommended to you. Okay, I've got a lot of comments here. A follower asks us, do you believe in the existence of UFO? Do you?
I do believe in the existence of UFO because UFO means unidentified flying object. If it's unidentified, it is a UFO. It doesn't have to be alien origin. So they're certainly out there. I mean, the US just released a whole bunch of them. But whether they're actually from aliens, I'm more sort of because there was this thing we were going to discuss why Earth is very special. Because Earth has an extremely large moon. We don't see that anywhere else. Our moon is larger. It's as large as the moons of Jupiter. But Earth is a lot smaller than Jupiter. What that means is tides. That might be the reason why we have life on Earth, and because it's such a rare condition that.
Oh, we have new questions here. A follower says, China dream and world dream. Yes, exploring the universe is quite a China dream. Thank you.